This is a little odd. We've got mics in front of us. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
What's going on?
Well, there's a reason why we've got microphones in front of us, and that is because we're doing a microphone review.
Ooh. Yes, in this video we'll be reviewing the Austrian Audio OC818, and every voiceover for this video has been recorded using these very microphones. So let's get straight into it. Austrian Audio was formed by members of the AKG team in July 2017, so carries a lot of AKG heritage. They currently offer 5 microphones in their range, and we're taking a look at the OC818, which comes in at £879 for a studio set, consisting of one OC818 mic, a shock mount, standard mic clip, pop filter and mini XLR to XLR adapter. Austrian Audio loaned us a matched pair, their DualSet Plus, which comes in a nice hard protective case complete with a nice chunky stereo bar. No money has changed hands for this review and we have got to return them. The microphones are all handmade in-house at their facility in Vienna and feature the company's own handmade CKR12 capsule. Frequency response is quoted at 20Hz to 20 kHz. There's a switchable 10 and 20 decibel pad and 2 analog high-pass filters, switchable at 40, 80 and 160 Hz. So why the second output? Well, as with the Lewitt LCT640 we reviewed a while ago, the 818 offers a polar pattern that's tweakable in one of 3 ways, using the switches on the front, the optional Bluetooth module and smartphone app, or by using their free Polar Designer plugin. The microphone has an incredibly high SPL handling of 148 dB. With peaks at 158. As a reference, 150 dB is the SPL required to burst a human eardrum, so it's definitely got enough headroom for your recordings, unless some bright spark decides to come up with a genre of music with the sole intention of causing pain. Paincore.
Paincore, yeah. Oh, I can think of plenty of genres that cause me pain. Anyway, how does it sound? Well, our good friend Joe Clack, a fantastic local musician, popped in to record his latest track, and so this was the perfect opportunity to record with the new OC818s. The audio files from this video are available for free download from our website, links are in the description, so you can have a play with the Polar Designer plugin for yourself, and we will be filming a future video on this entire song, along with free multi-tracks and a mix and mastering tutorial video, so make sure you've subscribed, have ding-da-ding-dong to be notified of that, because there may be prizes to be won. Anyway, moving on, our mic setup on Joe's acoustic guitar consisted of 2 of these 818s, in fact these 2, one on the body of the acoustic and one on the neck, with both 818 set so as we can switch polar patterns after the recording. We also set up a Lewitt LCT640TS in the middle of the 2, recording as a stereo microphone for comparison. In order to use the 818's tweakable polar pattern feature, you have to record both the main XLR and the secondary XLR outputs onto a stereo channel in your DAW, or onto 2 mono channels panned hard left and hard right and then bust to stereo. When listening back to the raw recording, you'll hear the audio panned hard to the sides. However, when you load up the Polar Designer plugin on the stereo track or bus, the software performs its pixie magic and you have a mono signal with a tweakable polar pattern. When we load up the Polar Designer plugin, we can see something that looks a little bit like a multi-band compressor, and that's because we can actually divide the signal up into between 1 and 5 bands. So if you wanted an omni pattern on the low end to mitigate the low bump of the proximity effect in cardioid mode, but want cardioid in the mids and highs, then that's no problem. There's also a slider that will adjust the level of proximity effect in the signal. If you're not sure where to start, then you can select a portion of the sound you most want to focus on and hit the Maximize Target button. This will use AI technology to optimize the polar pattern for each frequency band. The frequencies of the bands are adjustable, and we can also tweak individual levels and solo and mute the individual bands as well. This all means that you can really dig in and sculpt the sound to fit in a mix without having to resort to EQ. It's also a great learning tool to better understand the pros and cons of different pickup patterns on different sources. I was intrigued by the Terminate Spill button, and whilst we didn't have any spill in the recording to terminate, there's an excellent demonstration of this on Austrian Audio's YouTube channel, where they cut unwanted hi-hat spill when the 818 was used on a snare. All very useful stuff. Our first impressions were that the microphone gave a pleasingly warm and expensive sound that responds extremely well to EQ. Off-axis response is even and excellent, and rejection from the rear in cardioid mode and from the sides in figure of 8 mode is about the best I've ever experienced with any microphone. The mic captured every detail and nuance of Joe's performance, although it did sound a little dark on his vocal when compared to the Lewitt, and that's the advantage of having various microphones in your arsenal. You can pick colours and flavours to suit the source material and to sit different instruments better in a mix. For our mix, we chose to use the 818s on all the guitar parts and went with the Lewitt on Joe's vocal, as he has a fairly dark voice that was enhanced by the extra clarity we got from the Lewitt. But that's not to the detriment of the 818. That extra clarity is nothing that couldn't be EQ'd in. It's just that with the Lewitt, we don't have to reach for that EQ in the first place, so horses for courses and different mics for different sources.
Indeed. This probably can't be regarded as a budget mic by any means, but we feel it offers exceptional value for money in terms of the sound quality that comes out of it. It comes in at a very similar price to the Lewitt 640 and offers similar features. As we had the Lewitt set up in stereo configuration, with both left and right being captured by the single capsule in it, there was a perfect phase coherency from the Lewitt that we preferred, but the 818s were set up as a spaced pair, so this is to be expected. The Lewitt also sounded a little brighter on the acoustic guitar, but we slightly preferred the overall tone of the Austrian Audio mics in this scenario. If you're in the market for a very high quality large diaphragm condenser microphone, then we would highly recommend that you check out the offerings from Austrian Audio. The AKG heritage is there in spades, but with a modern twist and forward-thinking sensibility that make this mic a truly versatile and great sounding all-rounder. I've noticed there's plenty of polar patterns in this video, but no polar bears.
There are no polar bears. Unfortunately, polar bears are not included, but there is a polar kid, Anne.
Healing heart, you laid a hand on mine. Healing heart, you laid a hand on mine. When all I could do was cry.